All families, we are super excited that you are here with us on this July Thursday night. We're going to give you a couple minutes to get logged in, so get comfortable, get you a little snack, get you a beverage of your choice. And then here in just a couple of minutes, we're going to get rocking and rolling with session four, all about leadership and engagement on Rocky Top for tonight's family series. So again, get comfy, get you a snack, find your favorite spot in the house. We're going to get rocking and rolling here in just a minute or two. Well, good evening on this July Thursday night, volunteer families. We are super excited that you are here with us for session four, all about leadership and engagement as part of our Summer 26 Tennessee Family Series. My name is Todd Cox, and I have the honor and the privilege of serving the University of Tennessee as the Director of Student Advocacy and Family Experience. And it is my joy to get to welcome you here tonight. We are excited that you're part of our volunteer family. And we're just thankful you decided to spend a little bit of your Thursday night with us to hear from some incredible departments on our campus about all of the ways your student is going to be able to get involved here on Rocky Top. For our session tonight, we want to hear from you. And so you will notice at the bottom of your Zoom screen, there's going to be a little Q&A feature there. If you've joined us for a session before, you're already a pro at this. But for our new folks, that is how you can submit questions to us. So you can go in that Q&A feature, you can type out that question, and you can hit send to us. A few housekeeping notes for that. One is if you make sure that you keep that anonymous turned off, we'll be able to get your name and your email address. If for some reason we don't get to your question, we'll make sure we get your contact info so we can try to get an answer to your question later on after our session. So just make note of that. Additionally, we do ask that you just submit your question once. There's a lot of y'all. We're going to try to get to all the questions we can. But please just submit that question once so that way we give the opportunity for all of you families that are here with us tonight to have your opportunity to ask your questions. So that Q&A will stay open. So if one of our panelists shares something, make sure you drop that Q&A in the chat. Our panelists, some other staff from our department and the Division of Student Life will be here answering those questions, as well as we will be answering many of those live. So Q&A will be open all night. That's where we want to hear from you during our session. So, with that out of the way, panelists, good evening. Wonderful to see you all tonight. As we get started tonight, before we start taking questions, just want to give you all the opportunity to introduce yourselves and tell us who you are, tell us what your role is within your department, and then tell us a little bit about what your department does here on campus. So, Brad, I'm going to start out with you.
Thanks, Todd. Hey, everybody. My name is Brad Ward. I'm the Assistant Director for the Center for Student Engagement. Part of my job is the oversight of our 584 student organizations on campus. So just making sure they're getting all that they need from start to finish throughout the year, and just making sure they're compliant. And we also help with just starting off organizations. So if one of your students doesn't see an organization that they would like to join on campus, they can create their own and they can do that through our office. But an additional side of our office is student activities. So we do about 90 plus activities per year for students. The majority of those are free. So we like to keep your student entertained, but also involved on campus. Thanks for having me again.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Chepo. I serve as an associate director in the Jones Center for Leadership and Service on campus. We are a student-facing clearinghouse for all things curricular and co-curricular leadership and service for students to engage with on campus. Really, what that means is we help your student navigate the many of programs and opportunities that they can take advantage of while they're at the University of Tennessee, whether that is through a program in our office that I'll talk about later in the panel, or programs across campus. We're also a hub for finding volunteer opportunities around Knoxville. We have a lovely platform called ServeUTK that we manage that allows your student to find opportunities to give back not only in our community, but they can serve anywhere and track it, have it verified, and then use it across multiple applications, campus awards, and such. And so excited to be with you all tonight.
Good evening. My name is Jennifer Pierce Thomas, and I serve as the Associate Director for Council and Chapter Services in the Office of Sorority and Fraternity Life. And so our office, we're a large staff that helps to oversee around 10,000 students that are a part of our 49 organizations. We will have 50 in the fall, so we're welcoming an additional organization in August. And we just kind of help to make sure that we're facilitating those joining processes, that we're advising and working with the organizations, that we're connecting to the resources across campus, like student engagement, like the Jones Center for Leadership and Service, and help make sure that our students that choose to be in a fraternity or sorority are having a safe and healthy experience.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Anthony Pruitt, and I serve as Senior Director for the Office for Campus Culture and Community. Essentially, our office is here to provide holistic student support and development, while also really taking such a large campus and making it feel intimate and quaint. We do that by curating experiences that allow for students to connect to others and find community. Super excited to be answering some questions from you all tonight, and thank you for having me.
Hey y'all, my name is Ian Crone. I'm the director of the Student Union here at the University of Tennessee, and the Student Union exists as a primary community space here on campus. We are largely student run. Each year we employ about 120 or so students who help us support our operation in welcoming about 2.5 million people through the space and hosting about 8.5 to 9,000 events. So it is very much a place where your student can come to connect with community and take advantage of services, and all the folks who are represented on this evening's panel have a footprint in the office. So we're the physical space where you can connect with them. But this evening I'm here to talk about a special program we support, which is Big Orange Ticks. And that's really a student life's commitment to encourage and support students' engagement in intercollegiate athletics here at the University of Tennessee, and look forward to answering your questions.
Awesome. Thank you, panelists, for your introductions. Thanks again for being here tonight. Super excited to get to hear from you all. Jennifer, you won the race for the first question submitted. And so we're going to start out with you. And so break down what it looks like for move-in for students who may be going through recruitment. So who do they need to let know for move-in? What's that process going to look like? Kind of break down what that pre-recruitment timeline looks like for students moving onto campus.
Sure. So I want to make sure that we're talking about the same process. So we do have 4 different councils, and all of those councils do different processes. And so, we can talk more. We have the Panhellenic Council, we have the Interfraternity Council, we have our National Panhellenic Council, which is also commonly referred to as NPHC or Divine Nine. And then we also have our Multicultural Greek Council. NPHC and MGC do their intake process a little bit differently, and it will happen a little bit later in the semester. So that doesn't require an early move-in. I'm going to assume that when we're asking about early move-in, we're talking about Panhellenic recruitment and we're talking about IFC recruitment. So yes, both of those have early move-in. You had to have signed up for both processes by June 15th to be guaranteed an early move-in. That doesn't mean that you can't move in. It just means that there may not be additional spots once all of those spots are filled up. And so we coordinate with with university housing. And so they know who has signed up, and they should be communicating directly with students around move-in times. And so if there are questions around those dates, those can be answered by university housing. Another question that we also get asked a lot is Maybe a student doesn't get a move-in for the Sunday, but they get a move-in date for the Monday, which is the date that Panhellenic recruitment starts. It does not impact the experience whatsoever. Monday is pretty chill. It's just a meet and greet. They won't even meet the chapters. They will just meet their recruitment counselors. So if your student has a move-in date of Monday, that is completely okay, and there's nothing to worry about.
Awesome. Thanks, Jennifer. All great information. I appreciate you breaking down the different councils as well for folks who may be thinking about that. So thanks for that information. That's super helpful. Ian, I want to throw it to you. So we have lots of questions that come in about athletic events, and what that looks like. So can you talk about how do students get tickets to athletic events? Do they have to pay anything? What do they have to pay for? Give us kind of Big Orange Ticks 101 for us about
All
what that looks
right.
like for students.
Awesome. Yeah, cool. Thank you, Todd. So really the gateway for athletic engagement here at the University of Tennessee is the Tennessee Athletics app. And this is an app that all incoming students will receive information about halfway through August that they'll be able to log into and set up an account. As your student is setting up their account, a couple of things I'd encourage you to encourage them to do. Use their UTK net ID email. And as they're entering payment information, and I'll explain here in a moment, payment information, make sure that the credit card that they're using, the address that they use matches the residence of the credit card. But the UT Athletics app is really designed to be a one-stop shop for students to get information about all of the athletic games that they can participate in. There is a portion of that app that's the Rocky Top Rowdies, which is where they can see opportunities to earn T credits. And T credits is a loyalty program through athletics that rewards students for attending athletic matches and also allow them to be incentivized as they go through the different rounds of selection for football games. Football games are the only sport that there is a price attached to for students. It is a nominal price, it's $25. But otherwise, all sports and sporting matches are free for students to participate in. And students will again be receiving information through athletics about when different rounds for draws for tickets become available. Todd, if you'd like, I can talk a little bit about that selection process. Want me to do that now? Okay, great. So generally, selection for home football games opens up to students for round one selection about 10 days prior to the game itself. And students can elect to enter to be selected in a lottery either individually or as a group. One of the things that we find is that it's not unusual for students to want to go to a game at Neyland with a group of friends. Could be a chapter that they are connected to, or a student organization, or maybe a group of students from a residence hall. So they can form a group through the intercollegiate app, the athletics app. But they enter the first round, and at the end of a 3-day period, they will be informed whether or not they were invited to purchase tickets. They'll then have 3 days in which to determine whether or not they want to buy their ticket. All of this takes place through the intercollegiate app. If they elect to buy their ticket, they can go ahead and do that, and then they'll receive their ticket shortly before that Saturday's game. If they fail to buy their ticket and they've been selected, they do forfeit their opportunity for the next round. But if they weren't chosen, they can go ahead and participate in the second round. One piece of advice that I would have for families who think that their students may be interested in football is encourage them to sign up for that app right away. If they have any questions at all, we are ready to assist them. There's a really rich website that's available on the UTK website through Student Life called Big Orange Ticks. That's great, got some really great information. There's also a helpline that's available, Big Orange Ticks at utk.edu. That is a staffed helpline that can also walk your students through the process. But honestly, I think you'll find your students find that that's a pretty intuitive process. And I would encourage you to encourage your students to enter as many rounds for games as possible. Because again, accruing T credits really helps their chances of being selected for games. And then one final note about the competitive process for some games. There are a variety of other non-athletic events that students can engage in to earn T credits. And they'll learn all of these opportunities through the intercollegiate app, the Rocky Top Rowdies app. And there are things like participating in broad-based trainings that are available that we feel are important for them to engage in. There are some welcome events that can earn them T credits. But I think the first step is really connecting to that Tennessee Athletics app. So thanks, Todd.
Yes, thank you, Ian. No, that was a great overview of it. I appreciate you highlighting the Tennessee Athletics app. If students haven't done it already, download that now. We're
Absolutely.
working through that so that way they're ready to go because Furman will be coming to town before we know it, and we'll have that first
Absolutely.
game in Neyland. So I appreciate you breaking down that process. I think that's super helpful for our families to understand when their students may have questions. So thank you, Ian, for that. Chepo, we had a question for you. And so one of our family members is really looking for guidance for their student, how they can get involved in something that would really be a great leadership opportunity for them. So, what encouragement do you have, or what are ways that a student can really get involved with JCLS who's really looking to up their leadership, really work on those skills, hone those relationships, and really kind of take that next step forward?
Totally. That's a great question. And fortunately, not only the Jones Center, but there's even college resources in each academic college that can help support your student in getting connected. I'll start with our programs and then I'll sort of go a little more broad to speak to all the families about how to help navigate multiple pathways on campus. So, the Jones Center, we hold a number of programs in our office that your student can be engaged with. For those incoming students, Ignite is a great opportunity. It's a pre-arrival program that if your student is not participating in Panalytic or IFC recruitment processes, they can move in early and join us for either 865 or Summit. We have less than 100 spots left. Over 300 students are signed up for that. So we're excited to welcome them. But then after your student is on campus, there's a number of things they can engage with. So we have programs that align with the leadership studies minor. So we have the emerging leaders program that is for sophomore students. So I saw the question was in reference specifically to sophomores. I teach a class every spring to sophomore students about how to create change on campus and change processes. We have a program called Leadership Knoxville Scholars geared towards juniors and seniors, where they get paired with a mentor, a professional mentor in Knoxville, learn about the city, how the city operates, and how to be an engaged community member. But then outside of that, we offer a ton of engagement opportunities that around Clifton Strengths. Your student will take their Clifton Strengths assessment, and we offer one-on-one strengths coaching. This fall, we're piloting a leadership coaching program where your student can receive one-on-one coaching with a credentialed leadership coach in our office. And then outside of that, an opportunity that I always like to stress is there's, I think when people value leadership engagement opportunities, they often miss service and volunteering as a part of that. And there's a ton of rich experiences that your student can engage with in the community that builds their resume. I saw the question was specifically about, landing a job at an accounting firm. There's a number of partners that are looking for students to not just serve and just help sort clothes or pick up things. But one of my favorite stories is we had a student 2 years ago who was a supply chain major, and they went and worked with a mobile delivery nonprofit who delivers meals in Knoxville, and they helped reroute sort of how they were delivering meals and save the nonprofit over $100,000 in the year alone. Now, that is not part of a program that's on campus, but they got embedded with a partner, were invested in the work they were doing, and then leverage those connections to support them, not just in delivering the meals, but professionally. And so I don't want that to go missed. And then I'll highlight very briefly, each college has a lot of great opportunities to engage with. The Haslam College of Business is no outlier to that. They have the Ambassadors Program, the Global Leadership Scholars Program in the College of Business, and then offer a number of professional development opportunities for students there. But then, right, I think if you look at the College of Agriculture, there's in Herbert, there's a ton of great academic programs to engage with around leadership, education, and communication over there. So, the last thing I'll say is we do have a leadership minor on campus. It's a great opportunity. It's the only interdisciplinary minor where anybody of any college can engage with it. You can even take my class, Lead 201 this fall, Intro to Leadership Studies, or any number of the courses that are listed there. And I'll be sure to drop the link in the chat for people to see that.
Awesome. Thanks, Chepo. All great advice. I always appreciate a shameless plug for the class you teach. So if you parents or family members really want their student to learn from you, it's a great class. Highly recommend it. So
It's filling up quick.
that well, everybody wants to learn with Chepo. So I mean, I'm surprised you still have seats left. But all great information, Chepo. I appreciate you sharing about that. Brad, I want to throw it to you next. We've had some questions come in where folks are interested in where is this list of maybe this specific interest my student has, and where can they find about organizations that might meet those interests? And we have this little thing called Vollink. So will you talk a little bit about what that platform is, but also just what all you all do, how you support organizations, and all those different type of ways that students can find and get involved with organizations that match their interests?
Perfect timing, Todd. I've got a 2-year-old in the background, not wanting to take a bath right now. So if you hear screaming, no big deal. She just doesn't like her bath. So let's talk about Vollink though. Vollink is just our hub for all the organizations on campus. So currently, when we run our numbers, we have about 584 on campus, which is a ever-growing number, but it also can fluctuate. So when you are wanting to look for that list, you just go to vollink.utk.edu and you can click on the organizations tab. And there's about 24 different categories of organizations that we have on campus. So they could be grouped. If you want to filter it, you can filter by a specific interest of those 24 interests. But if you want to just click into the profiles, it's almost like a MySpace or a Facebook page for organizations. It'll tell you just what they're about. It'll tell you their officers. It'll tell you when they meet and just generally how to contact them. And that'll be kind of where your student can start. They can just peruse that whole list. And if they ever have any questions just about that organization, we can help them get in contact with that organization, or they can just directly email them. Most organizations are pretty happy to receive questions about themselves, so they can get more members and just go about growing their organization at UT. So what we do is we kind of help just maintain the organizations, make sure they're in compliance, make sure that they are not only following university policy, but also just growing and in their leadership, their recruitment, sometimes their fundraising, and just getting leadership skills. So we do workshops, we do celebration events. We just try to make sure that they're getting a great experience while being a leader at UT. I saw a couple questions about rec sports or club teams. I would say, even though that we house the 584, we don't kind of oversee every single one. That would be a lot. So a lot of them are dispersed between different departments. So rec sports is with our rec sports group. So you can go to recsport at utk.edu, and there's a side panel that says sports clubs. You can click on that and it'll have all their listed sport clubs with their pages on Vollink just listed there. So if you want to go to a specific one, rec sport at utk.edu would be perfect. But if your student's not sure where they want to go, they get on campus, it gets overwhelming. There's a lot of different organizations and they don't know where to go. We're going to have involvement consultations within our office. That's just the ability to sign up and come in and talk to a professional or one of our very talented students to help you kind of navigate that process for your student. So they can come in, ask any questions. We're going to be like, what are you interested in? What do you like to see? And we're going to try to match them to a group and give them the best opportunity to join that group. Additionally, if they just want to see all the groups at one time, we have about 300 groups that come to our engagement fair on August 21st, right in the middle of campus from 4 to 6. So that's a really great opportunity to really just talk to student organizations face to face. They're all excited. It's a really, really fun event. And there's about 1 million people out there. So it's kind of electric. It feels like college. So I would definitely encourage your student to come out and check that out.
Awesome. Thanks, Brad. All great things there. All the services you all provide, that one-on-one kind of consultation is super important. And I know a lot of students, that's really kind of been their jump start for how they've gotten involved. So I appreciate you talking about those services. And also for the rec sports piece, they will actually be here for session 5. So if folks are really interested in that, come back in 2 weeks. We're going to have rec sports here too. And there will be a great place where those questions will be addressed. But I do appreciate you also naming that as well for folks about where those kind of club sports live. So thanks for all that info, Brad. Super helpful. Anthony, I want to throw it over to you. And so families are probably going to start seeing this vol as a verb thing and this logo around campus. I mean, I've got it on my water bottle here. That's something your department does. So tell us, what is vol as a verb? What does it mean? And how can students really get involved in that initiative?
Absolutely. Thank you for asking. Um, One of the things that I think we believe, and I'll simplify this, y'all, is when we talk about vol as a verb, we're really talking about how to put your leadership into action. What does it mean to balance who you are individually or personally with how you operate or function within the larger community? And you'll continuously throughout the night hear me refer to the community or campus culture and community. But we do this through 3 pathways. Really, is to explore, practice, and live. Those are some things that you'll be probably hearing and familiarizing yourself with. And essentially, we'll create or curate a variety of experiences and opportunities to actually actualize what vol as a verb means. Some of those events will be United at the Table, which is an amazing opportunity right on Pear Walkway and outside of the student union, where students are able to interact and engage with our campus multi-faith ministry, as well as some of our university administrators, and really kind of sit, eat, and engage with other students across campus. We also have United at the Torch, and we have Pack to Give Back, amongst a few programs. Again, the emphasis is on connecting students with one another, but also actualizing what it means to be a volunteer. Thank you, Todd.
Absolutely, Anthony. Thanks for that information. A really cool initiative, something that's not just your department, it's not just student life, it's a campus-wide really initiative. It brings us all together. It's something that students are going to hear a lot. So I appreciate you breaking that down because I think it's a great thing for our families to know about too and how they can be a part of it. So thanks for that, Anthony. Jennifer, I want to come back to you. I'm going to give you a little bit of a two-parter here. And so the first part is, you talked about recruitment. We've had some families ask if it's too late to sign up for IFC or Panhellenic recruitment. So if you want to break that down. And then the second part of that is for those who are going through recruitment, how important are recommendation letters? If they're a legacy, is there something, steps they should follow? What does that kind of process look like for those who have rec letters, legacy status, maybe stuff like that?
Yeah, great. So no, it's not too late, but it is very close to that deadline. So if your student wants to register, they need to do so quickly. Panhellenic recruitment registration closes on July 15th, so 6 more days. And that is not just registering, but completing the video that goes along with it, making sure that that's uploaded and updated, and all of the questions that come along with it. So I would really encourage, don't wait until the 15th to sign up for Panhellenic recruitment, because it will take the student a little bit of time to prepare all the materials for that. Instructions for those videos and everything that happens in the registration process can be found on our website, which is linked to Panhellenic's external website that has those instructions. For IFC recruitment, that stays open a little bit longer. It's not quite as involved as Panhellenic recruitment. So men that are interested in that process can actually sign up until August 9th. And so right up until we start. And so that will, they'll still have that ability. Their registration is not as involved as Panhellenic. So there is still a little bit of time for that. For NPHC and MGC, again, they don't have a formal recruitment process prior to school. So the best thing I'm going to do to tell you how to learn about those organizations is come to Meet the Greeks, which is going to happen on the first day of class. So that's August 18th. And that's where all of our organizations in our Multicultural Recruitment Council and our National Panhellenic Council will be there. People will get to meet them, they'll get to see what they're about and kind of learn about what their intake process looks like throughout the year. So back to your second part about recommendation letters and legacies. Again, this is going to be very different per council and even per organization. I do know that we do have some MPHC organizations that do require recommendation letters. And so you can find that out through visiting with them and understanding their process. I am going to, again, assume for this question that we're talking about Panhellenic recruitment because we are in the South. I would answer this question very differently today than I would have even 5 years ago. And so know that the evolution of recommendation letters and legacy status is changing rapidly. It used to be you had to, now it's, okay, it's good if you have it. We are not Alabama. We are not Ole Miss. We are Tennessee, and we're unique in the way that we express ourselves and do things here within our group community. And so if you have the ability to get someone to write a recommendation letter, great. It has to be an alumna of that organization, and they have to log into their national website and complete it themselves. The student cannot do it for them, nor can you. You can find those links on our website. If you go to the Panhellenic Council's specific page and click on each organization, those links should take you to the national organization where you can find out more about those recommendation letters. My advice is that if you're going to go searching for recommendation letters, have it be from someone who actually knows your student, who can speak to their character, who can speak to who they are as a leader, what they would be like in an organization. It is not going to be helpful for you all to go on the internet and source recommendation letters from people who do not know your student. Again, that's good. That has looked very different in the past, and I know that has looked very different. And so, but that's kind of how we do things here. Legacy status is also very different these days. Some of our national organizations have completely gotten rid of legacy status. And so trying to level the playing field and make it a more equitable experience and provide access to joining our organizations. So again, that's going to be organization dependent, and they're all going to have different policies on whether the legacy has to get invited back to the first round or if they don't, what that kind of looks like. Again, looking at the national organizations, policies are going to be the best thing. However, your student does have the ability to notate if they have a legacy status within their recruitment registration.
Awesome. Thank you, Jennifer. I know I threw a few different questions at you that were a little nuanced, so I appreciate you covering kind of all those details with it, all those really fine points that we know students and families are wondering about. So thank you for that. Brad, I want to throw it back to you. So we talked all about student organizations and the way students can get involved in that. But as you mentioned at the beginning, you all do all sorts of programs all across the year. So can you just highlight what some of those programs are that students can participate in through your office, what they can kind of expect to see over the next year of all the different ways that they can really participate in something a little different on campus?
Yeah, thanks, Todd. So again, we do about 90 plus events per year. So we're really trying to pump out events all the time, usually 2 to 3 per week. So if your student is really wanting to get involved and just have some fun on campus, we're offering something almost all the time. So that could be anything. I mean, we try to do it all. If there's an idea, we try to chase it. Most of the ideas that we have are made up by our own students that work within our office. So it's pretty cool that we're getting to see their vision come to light. But a great example of that is, I don't know if any of you know, but it is the 25th anniversary of Shrek coming out. So we are doing Shrek Fest this year. I mean, and when I tell you it could be anything, I really truly mean that. But it's a lot of things like series. We do series so students can come back week to week, such as trivias, just really crafty events. So we've had an event where they can just come in and make their own bouquet of flowers. We have larger events such as we've done concerts in the past, we've done speakers, we've done just about everything we can think of. But we're always trying to get more stuff to do and give your student more entertainment. So it could be just generally anything. So what I would advise is just to follow us on Instagram, CSE, UTK CSE. We post almost daily on that. But just some of the general highlights that we have. Obviously, the engagement fair, I talked about that. But Welcome Back Bash is just a huge event at the beginning of the year to kind of welcome your student to campus and just have some fun with inflatables, food, giveaways. just fun things that they can make there just to get to know more students around campus. But we also do stuff throughout the year in the spring. At the very end of the spring, we have Party in the Park, which is a lot of just vendors coming in, some music, some fun. We had a Ferris wheel last year, so just a couple of different things that can always entertain your student. We have Haunted Campus, so we do a lot of seasonal things for students every year, and just really anything. Kind of I'm kind of generalizing it because I could name anything and we've probably tried it. But I would just advise your student to come to our office, talk to us, and say, "Hey, what's going on this week?" And it's going to be something different every week. So we like to have a lot of fun. So I think your student will too.
Absolutely. Always. I'm personally very excited for Shrek Fest now. And so you will see me at Shrek Fest. But
Yes.
a lot of great programs y'all do. You're always posting them across campus too. Students can see them on TVs across campus, posters, Instagram.
And I remembered something I should add, Todd, here, if you don't mind. But
Yeah.
we also do ticket subsidies. So just different shows, entertainment, everything's coming around campus and off campus in Knoxville around town. So we try to do subsidized tickets at the Tennessee Theater, at the ice skating rinks, at the baseball fields, just anything that we can do, like the Tennessee Smokies, the Ice Bears, just general things that your students may be interested in Knoxville. We also do just kind of tours around Knoxville. So we have taken students up to the Sun Sphere to just give them a tour, and that's usually free. But the tickets and subsidies are where prices would be a little higher for students. We subsidize those and make sure they're affordable for students. So your student can definitely come and check those out, but those are a little competitive sometimes. So if they see that opportunity, I would say just jump on it when they can.
No, I appreciate you adding that, Brad. I think the ticket subsidies and those usually I feel like we see signs for those that first week of class, even when stuff's already getting rolling. So a lot of great ways for people even get involved in the community because we have so much that goes on past just campus and ways that students can get involved. So thanks for sharing about that and all of those great things. Chepo, you mentioned it a little bit earlier, but I wanted to give you the opportunity to talk more about it. And that's a Serve UTK platform. And so, there's a lot of things that does from tracking service hours to getting students connected. Kind of break that platform down for us and share a little bit more about it.
100%. It's a campus-wide platform that our department manages. But if you search ServiceEK, you'll find it. Students can log in with their NetID and UT credentials. And what's really special about the platform is community partners create accounts and then they host different shifts, service events that are specifically focused on getting UT students out into the community and volunteering. So everything on the platform is geared towards you, our students. And what's really fantastic about that is it is a gambit. I was going to pull up just to see how many were even just available today. It looked like there was 18 different opportunities around Knoxville today over the summer alone. The fall semester, it gears up from that. That's everything from professionally focused opportunities like clinic vols and remote area medical for those students who are interested in pre-med or health professions, to the Humane Society and Young Williams Animal Shelter, to Keep Knoxville, Keep Blunt Beautiful, to Second Harvest food pantry. There's plenty of opportunities for your students to engage with. This is the platform, though, that for students who are engaging in a number of organizations across campus that have service hour requirements, if you're a nursing student, you'll have a service requirement later in your academic journey. The same for students in the College of Business as you get to your senior year. This is the platform that you'll use to help find those opportunities to track and verify them. The neat thing about the platform is when you find opportunities in there, you can sign up, it tracks it. And then that's what the organizations are tracking. A faculty member who's teaching a class that has a service requirement, they're tracking it all there to make sure that your hours meet the guidelines. Another caveat, though, is it doesn't have to be in the system for you to count it. So there's a lovely blue button on the main page called Add Impact. And if you are at home over a break, or it's just an opportunity that you found outside of the ServUTK site, you're able to select Add Impact, type in the information, put a verifier, somebody who was at that nonprofit school church that can verify that you were there. And then that'll go through the system to get verified just alongside the opportunities that are in ServUTK. So many different ways to engage with the platform. You'll use it across your experience here at UT. And I think sort of a pride point for us is we are the volunteers, and I would say our students take it very seriously. I coordinate a call every month with SEC institutions across the board, and we are blowing people away with the amount of hours and times that our students get out into the community and serve. And so we want to maintain that, and we're excited for your students to join that longstanding tradition of giving back not only to Knoxville, but the broader state and country.
Awesome. Thanks, Jeff. I appreciate you sharing that. We are the volunteers and we live into that every single day and we take that really seriously. And so I really appreciate you chatting about that. Serve UTK. We really try to make it easy for students to have those opportunities kind of really in front of them at any given time. And so I appreciate you sharing about that. Anthony, I want to throw it back to you. So you all have this really cool program called the Global Citizens Program that we've really seen grow by leaps and bounds, and that more and more students are wanting to be a part of. So tell us about that program. What is it? How can students participate? And what do people in the program get to do?
Todd, you really asked me about an amazing initiative through our office that I'm super proud about. Essentially, y'all, we curated this broad-based experience that begins with a 32-week on-campus cohort that meets weekly, and it allows the students opportunities to, build intimate connections, but also choose and learn about their possible destination. The program centers around or focuses on the African, Asian, and South American continents. We typically have 64% of our students that do any type of a broad-based experience in Europe, and we really wanted to curate opportunities to explore the rest of the world. Once they finish this 32-week cohort, then it culminates in a 2-week experience abroad. We actively start recruiting for the next cohort in the latter part of the fall semester. And then they will actually start that 32 weeks in the fall. And then we typically go abroad in May, right after graduation. We have just brought a group back from Argentina. They had an amazing time. And if you may be wondering, like, I don't know if this is for me, but it truly is an interdisciplinary approach to a cultural immersion trip. So you can be an architect major, you can be interested in business, a education major, healthcare, somewhere in the health related fields, and still get something out of the program. So you can find more information about it on our website, but it is an excellent opportunity. And we wanted to make the program accessible. So it's a nominal fee of $500 total, but it's $250 during the fall and $250 during the spring. But we cover the cost of the experience.
Awesome. Thanks, Anthony. Really is a great program, really is a cool program, really is just a neat opportunity for students to get engaged. And so I appreciate you sharing about that and all the different ways for that. So Ian, I want to throw it back to you for Big Orange Tick. So you talked some about T credits. You talked about how students can get them in other ways. Will you break down T credits a little bit more? We've had some questions coming in. What are they? How can students get them? Do they only impact football? Do they impact other sports? And I think let's go ahead and cover long term. What do T credits look like over the span of a student's time at UT? So not just what they get in this first year, whatever year they might be in, but what does that look like as they go on through their years at Rocky Top?
Absolutely. Yeah. Great set of questions, Todd. And I know that there are also some questions I saw in the chat related to this that I'll try to wrap in. So again, T credits are really a loyalty program managed through the Rocky Top Rowdies component of the athletics app that students receive. They earn these when they attend athletic events and some other types of events during the course of the year. Like, for example, one of the major events that students will get to participate on the Saturday prior to class starting is a wonderful event that the Division of Student Life puts on right here in the Union called Tennessee Saturday Night. In years past, that has been an event where literally nearly every space in the Union and adjacent to it is activated with some type of program. It's really intended to introduce students to one another and to help them get connected on their first night on the weekend here on campus. And in years past, that has been an example of an event where students can get T credits. Your students will also receive during the first week of class a Canvas module that I think I mentioned is intended to help orient them to Big Orange Ticks and walk them through setting up their app if they haven't done so already. They'll get a T credit for that. Generally, there are about 37 or 40 events each fall semester that students can participate in to earn T credits. And T credits benefit them as it relates to their odds in the rounds to select football tickets. So they really only do focus on incentivizing or helping students' chances in these selection processes for football tickets. A couple things related to that process as it relates to T credits. So we had a question in the chat about the number of student tickets that are available for each home football game. So normally the Division of Student Life is able to work with athletics to get about 11,500 or so tickets to home football games. Those seats, some of you may know, are between sections D and K in Neyland. Really good seats, actually. And but students here, returning students may know that we can have 20,000+ students in the first round for certain games. So we really are focused on helping students navigate the process. And again, the Big Orange Tickets program is designed to support students in getting connected to this wonderful athletic experience. Last year, it was kind of cool. We worked with a PhD statistics students to help us look at the data from the past few years in terms of student T credit earnings and their success getting tickets. And we were really relieved to see that there was an 88.8% chance for students who had consistently participated in rounds requesting tickets to receive a ticket to a game during the spring. And so that really reassured us through the data that first-year students coming in do have a good chance of getting tickets in their first fall semester here on campus. Also from that research, we learned that the average ticket or the average T credit level for the recipient of what we would consider sort of a premier game, like a conference game, like an Alabama or a Georgia, was about 7 T credits. And so when you think about all of the different sports that are available for students to participate in during the fall semester, in addition to their opportunity to join a group. And again, it's the average of the group that determines the odds for all of the students within that group. Again, students have a good chance of being able to get tickets for games. So again, it is competitive, but if students are committed and they apply themselves by going through the selection process and also participating in these other trainings or events, they'll likely be able to get a seat to a football game. So in terms of your question, Todd, about the lifespan of a student here at the University of Tennessee, because we recognize that students' T credits accrue every year, and because we as a community are committed to providing chances for incoming students to be able to be competitive in terms of getting tickets. Each spring, students' T credit level is halved. And so that's a process that occurs in partnership with athletics. Students will get communication about this. It generally happens about halfway through the spring semester, but that's a way to recognize the work that students have done while at the same time providing a little bit more level playing field for incoming students. So, and all of the students are able to track and see on a day-by-day basis their T credit level in the Rocky Top Rowdies component of the intercollegiate app. So did that kind of cover what you were hoping for, Todd?
Yeah, no, that was a great breakdown
Okay,
of
great.
all of that. Yeah, that was good. I appreciate it. I think that helps kind of build that foundation of what T credits are, why they matter, where they impact. So I appreciate you sharing all of that, Ian. Jennifer, I want to throw it back to you for the question of, is fall the only time that somebody could join a Greek organization? Or what does that look like maybe if they don't join during their first semester, they don't join during the fall? Kind of what all are the different opportunities for somebody who may later on be interested in joining Greek life?
Yeah. I will say majority of our students who are participating in IFC or Panhellenic recruitment join in the fall. Our MPHC and MGC organizations may not recruit every single semester. And so following their Instagram is going to be one of the best places to learn about when they're conducting intake or when they're hosting informational sessions to see what semester those may open. But, you know, with IFC and Panhellenic recruitment, we have many people that, you know, don't decide that they don't want to do it or they want to get used to school first or, you know, make sure that they can balance academics and kind of all of those things. And so we will have opportunities in the spring. We just may not have as many. So we are a little bit more limited in the spring because not all of our organizations will either choose to host recruitment or be able to. For our Panhellenic organizations, we have some of them may be full by the time we get to spring, and we won't know that until we actually get to spring and we're able to see who has room to take in new members. Kind of the same with IFC is that some of them may decide, you know, we like where we're at numbers wise. We don't want to take on more, but many of them do decide. As far as past freshman year, I mean, I didn't join my sorority until I was a junior, and I think it worked out just fine for me because I get paid to do this now. So, you know, absolutely, there are many opportunities for joining, and it's really just what feels best for your student.
Awesome. Thanks, Jennifer. I appreciate it. Chepo, I want to throw it to you because you all have a lot of great programs for students to get involved in, but you also have our Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Days of Service. And so, will you break that down about what that is and just how students can also get involved in that program?
Yeah, that's a fantastic signature program that we host every year, a long-standing tradition at the University of Tennessee. That program occurs every spring. It's happened in multiple different formats, but we're really proud of where we landed to expand opportunities. It used to be one day, sort of an all-out go to get as many people out into the community. But we recognize that community partners really need support, not just on one day, but sustained service. And so actually in this last year, we expanded it to be a whole month. It was 4 weeks long, starting at the end of January through the end of February. And it's selected opportunities where community partners engage with us, host shifts, and then we help support students to get to those shifts and advertise them broadly across campus. Again, it's a signature program where a ton of the community partners that are oftentimes engaging with students, thinking about Ladies of Charity, the YWCA Phyllis Wheatley Center, and others, host even more students than they typically do to engage. This is a really fantastic program for students who are part of student organizations with service hour requirements, academic programs, or a number of the scholarships that are hosted by the University of Tennessee require some amount of service. And so as you check on those things, MLK Jr. Days of Service is a great opportunity for your student to engage with, to not only meet those requirements, but to give back to the community with an increased sense of purpose.
Awesome. Thanks, Chepo. Always fun when our campus comes together and gets to do that. And so I appreciate you sharing about that program. So students can already kind of be circling that on their calendars and getting ready for it. Folks, we are coming to the end of our time together. And so want to give all of you as panelists one more opportunity to share any closing wisdom, final thoughts, anything you want to make sure that families know before they log out tonight, as well as how can students get in touch with your office or visit your office. So we'll go in the same order we went at the beginning of the call. So, Brad, you're going to bat lead off for us and help us end the night on a high note.
Well, thank you all for having all of us again. It's been a pleasure getting to talk to you tonight. Just for the Center for Student Engagement, we really tell students to come in all the time, even if I like to say we're not used car salesmen or anything. We're not going to sell them anything. We just want them to come hang out in our space. It's a vibrant space with TVs, couches, just a fun place to study. If you like a little bit of noise when you're studying, it's a great place to do that. So just have them come on out. If you ever want to reach out to us, we're open every day from 8 to 5 throughout the week, but also you can go to go.utk.edu to check through all of our resources. You can also just email us at engaged@utk.edu. But also from the student org perspective, we have an org support email, orgsupport@utk.edu. I would just tell your students, come hang out with us, check out our social media. Check out the calendar. We've got something going on all the time, and we really just want to make sure they're getting connected and getting involved on campus. So thanks again for the opportunity.
For the Jones Center for Leadership and Service, very similar, great study spot if you like a little bit of ruckus. We share an office suite with the Office of Sorority and Fraternity Life, so we always have a lot of fun on a daily basis. But the best way to find out about the things going on not only in our office but across campus is to follow us on Instagram. We are super active on there. Lead Serve UTK, a great place for not only you to follow but your student to engage with us and see all the things coming up. And then again, we're located right in the Student Union. A number of you all, if you went on a tour, you've walked in the door right next to our office, and we're always happy when people stop by, say hello, and help you get connected to either campus or the community.
Yeah, Chepo and I will be hanging out in our suite tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock when we meet. So, feel free to hang out with us. I would say, making the decision to join a Greek life organization is a big one. It's a lifelong decision. It does require a financial commitment, a time commitment, an academic commitment. And so we really try to put a lot of that information on our website. So on our website, you can find average costs for joining. You can see if an organization requires living in a facility or has a meal plan. You can figure out kind of what those academic requirements are. We also have the last 5 years of conduct history for all of our organizations. And so, we encourage every student that is interested in joining a Greek organization to check all of that information out and to have conversations with their family members so that you can enter into this process kind of knowing what's expected and what you're going to go experience when you go through the recruitment or intake process and join that organization. And then we're always happy to speak with parents and families. We're always happy to answer questions. You can email greeklife@utk.edu, and that's one of the best ways to get a hold of all of us.
So I guess my parting words are that coming to college can be an overwhelming experience, especially that those first few weeks. I just want to remind parents and students that if you come to college and you are overwhelmed or you're having difficulty kind of finding and connecting to community on campus, swing by our office. You can actually swing by any of the offices here, but swing by our office and we will do our best to connect you to some intimate experiences, but also to other students on campus that may be feeling the same way. To learn more about our programs, you can visit our website, but you can also follow us on Instagram. That'll keep you most up to date on the experiences that we have coming up. Follow us on Instagram, it's pretty active. I think the last thing is to say that we're located, we have 2 locations on campus. We're located in the Friesen Black Cultural Center which is kind of near a lot of the residence halls. And then we also have a office within the Pride Commons located in the student union on the third floor. Swing by, talk to us. We always say when you come into our space, it'll feel like a warm hug, and our team will be waiting to greet you all.
Yeah, and I would two quick things for me. I would really encourage your students to engage as it relates to big orange ticks. Encourage them to log into the app early and attend as much as they can. It will improve their chances of being able to get tickets later on in the season. Don't or encourage them not to wait until the end of the season to try to get football tickets. And then additionally, I would just encourage your students to make the student union their home away from home. All of these great experiences and opportunities to get engaged have some footprint in the student union. It's really intended to be the students' home away from home. It's a place that they can make their own. So go Vols.
Awesome. Well, panelists, thank you all so much for taking time tonight to be a part of our family series. Thank you for sharing all of this great information. We greatly appreciate your time tonight with us and with our families. So, families, that is a wrap for us. Before you log out, I want to give you a few quick announcement. One is make sure you complete the survey that you see on the screen and that you're going to get in your inbox here in just a little bit. That helps us make sure that we're providing the best educational series we can for you. Make sure you complete the online orientation alongside your students. So there are modules in there for families in that Vol 101 that are about the departments you see here and many, many others. So make sure you complete that. Make sure that you join our family association. It is free to join and get you access to all sorts of great educational materials, programs like our Vol Family Reunions, where registration is open right now for our 2 weekends happening this fall, where you can come enjoy Rocky Top for a weekend and all sorts of other great stuff. And then our alumni office is doing summer send-offs all across the country. So make sure you check that out. See if there's a summer send-off near you for you and your student to go and get to meet other volunteer families and celebrate them getting ready to start at Rocky Top. We hope that we get to see you again next week, where we will be talking all things health and wellness. That'll be here on Zoom again, like I said, 2 weeks from tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. That's July 23rd. Health and Wellness, another panel of great university leaders who will be joining us. Thank you all so much again for being here with us tonight. We are so excited that your student is going to be joining us on campus here in just a few weeks. We're excited that you are part of our volunteer family, and we can't wait to see you again in a couple of weeks. That's all for us tonight. So we are going to be adjourned from this. Have a great night. Enjoy the rest of your week.